Right now, however, I want to introduce our next speaker. Zaitoon is the SLE in Integrating Technology at Witton Park. I think she's actually frozen just as I was about to bring her in right now. Zaitoon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you, but we can't see you at the moment.
Oh.
We've got a blank screen. Let me just take you off and put you back on.
Okay. No.
We're just hearing you. I'm going to bring your screen because we can see your screen.
Okay.
Hopefully your camera will kick in for a second, but for now you can be the voice from the sky guiding us through Google Site. Is that right?
That's right, yes. Okay.
I did want to chat you... Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I did want to chat to you about how your school looking forward to September, but let's leave that till the end in the hope that your camera will pop back for us by then. For now, though, I'll let you get on straight into your session on virtual learning using Google Sites.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, hi everybody. Apologies, I don't know why the camera's not working. But I'm just going to showcase to you what we have been doing in my school with regards to the use of Google Sites. Now, we've had quite a few different ways to utilize Google Sites, and that's what I'm going to showcase to you today. Okay, so three of the main ways that we've been using it is bringing all of our CPL that we have in school together on one platform, so all staff can go back and look at it again, so nothing is lost as time goes by. So we've got a record of everything together. Secondly, we're creating our a student learning gateway, so just trying to keep the students engaged whilst they are in and out of school. And finally, I'm going to showcase to you a virtual learning platform and how we can customize it for your subject, and how you can create a virtual learning platform for your lessons, enabling you to do a hybrid or a blended learning sessions with your classes. Okay, so first I want to showcase to you the Cpl Dashboard. This is our Witton Park Academy dashboard. And what we have here is basically a weekly, an update on a weekly basis of anything that's happening that's new. We have three sections within there. We've got teachers, support, and admin. Obviously, in certain aspects, we add in the buttons which are more relevant to each of the group of people who are using it. So we really have tried to incorporate every member of staff within our school, and not just the teachers. But today I'm just going to showcase to you the teaching aspect of it. So within here, we have our new staff induction, all the new videos, everything that the school want to showcase to their new staff has been introduced on here. We have made sure our handbook is available, all digitalized, and then everything in terms of our ethos, appraisals, anything in terms of the reward system, how to use the new interactive whiteboards when they come into a class. Everything is on there, so when our new staff do join us, that they are fully up to date with how we work at Witton Park. So that is one aspect. We then have various things that we are doing within our curriculum. So one of the main focuses is as a teaching body is a book that we've been reading, which is called The Magenta Principles. Now, we didn't just give the staff a book to read and ask them to read it. We really started to utilize that book and dug deeper as to what teachers' thoughts were, and started up a conversation and getting staff to collaborate. So within that, we created podcasts. So we created In Conversation With, and it's a podcast series of a certain chapter that we've asked staff to read, and then we've worked our way through, and we've had a conversation with 2 or 3 key staff, and we've showcased how they can utilize it and how it's affected their teaching. What we were finding before lockdown was that there wasn't a lot of communication going on in between teachers. We were all told to do the same thing, but we weren't ever shown, or we weren't ever had the time to discuss how it's impacting our classrooms and so forth, including things like safeguarding. Now, within Google Site, which is really nice, is that there are certain aspects that you don't want every member of staff to see, or you don't want a certain body of members of staff to see, you are able to create what I call a daughter page. So, for example, the page on extremism is only available for staff at Witton Park Academy. So if anyone outside of Witton Park were to click that, they wouldn't be able to access that information. Whereas every one of these, they can click it and access it. So the way we do that, I will showcase that to you in a little while. It is just creating another site and keeping all your important stuff that are for your school or for your department, even privately. You can keep that to one side. I'll showcase how we can do that. So whilst we were on lockdown, it was very, very important to our school to make sure that the staff were in contact with each other, and that nobody felt lonely, and there was a space for everyone to have a conversation. So we introduced various challenges. We did 30-day set challenge, we did art challenges, to showcase to you some of the stuff that our staff managed to do. We had competitions running throughout lockdown. We showcased it. We put it all onto this website, so every member of staff was able to just scroll down and have a look at how other staff were doing and so forth. We also had a staff quiz every Tuesday evening, and again, with all that, there was various prizes that were available to win, but we recorded each session using Google Meet. We recorded each session, and we were able to just upload it so that staff who couldn't be there were able to watch it back. And it was a nice, when we did see each other going in and out of school, that it was a nice conversation to have at that time. So that's something that we've been putting together in terms of our Cpl and how we made sure that everything was on one dashboard, and that anything that needs bringing in, so we're bringing in a new behavior policy, for example, all the training is on there, followed on by using Google Forms. Once they've completed that training, it automates a certificate for them to say that it's been completed. So we've used Autocrat to automate our certificates using Google Forms as well. So it's all integrated, very nice and neat. So when staff are looking through it, they're not looking through various different emails or any sessions that they've had previously. It's all on one site. So that is how we are using Google Sites as a Cpl dashboard across the school for all members of our staff. I'm going to showcase to you now the learning gateway that we are creating for our students. So like with students, we needed to have a way to communicate with students and just to start to put together everything that we want the students to be able to complete and do. And one of our big focuses was over the 6 weeks holidays, just to make sure that the students had something to do in the meantime, and also just to keep in contact with the school. So we created our early promotion website, and we created 6 badges of summer. And again, it was very easy to put together using Google Sites. It's got templates that we can utilize, and we can embed various pictures. These are all pictures that I made on Canva and then just brought it across and put them in. All the challenges are there for the students to see. This is just a Google slide that has been put in and then set to auto run, finishing off with a Google form that the students can upload their picture to of the evidence that they've completed that challenge. So that is our way of just starting to create this dashboard for our students. And we are coming to a point now where we are thinking about September. We are thinking about all the way up to December, to be honest, as to what we are going to expect our year 10s and 11s to be doing. So we're starting to think about study skills, key things that they need to start to look at. And we try to personalize it as much as we can with their teachers, explaining how they can get organized and how to take notes and so forth, and really give that personal touch to it, because with our students, we're in a very deprived area in the Northwest. And with our students, we need to have that personalized touch to a lot of the stuff that we send out to them. So yeah, so that's our learning gateway. And then finally, just to showcase to you, a virtual learning platform I created for our subjects. So I'm a science teacher, and obviously with being a science teacher, there's and with many of the subjects, there's many topics, there's many lessons that we need to organize. So what I decided to do was to create this virtual learning platform using Google Sites, where students were able to go in, or where staff were able to put on all their work that they needed for that one subject. So all the subjects would go in there, topics that they would have for that subject, and then each topic would have an overview of the lesson, little screencastify, just personalizing it again, and all the lessons are there. And then for each lesson, any tasks that needed to be completed would be in each of these tasks. What we have found with this is that it is starting to become our planning tool in a way for our teachers, as they start to look towards a more of a hybrid teaching ways. We have to also consider the fact that not all of our students will be back in school come September. So to factor in those students who are not there, just to have a platform in place that will allow them to keep up to date with all the work that has been set. This, alongside Google Classroom, has been working really well so far. So we're hoping that come September, we will be in that position where we can continue to provide a dual way of learning for our students. Just before summer holidays, we created virtual learning timetables for our students, and we were having 70 to 90 students per session per hour attending live lessons, where staff were able to use their platform to showcase the lessons and bring it all in one place. So just to showcase to you Google Sites, if you haven't come across it before, you'll find it within your waffle. It's just there. And then if you were to create just a blank one, you could, there's also now actually, just to go back to showcase you that, there is now a template gallery that has been brought in. So if it is a specific type of website you want to create, so for example, a student profile or portfolio even, a class, you got clubs, these are all themes and setups ready for you to use. So you can just go in and just utilize it, put your own information in there. So I'm just going to show you from a blank. Just allowing it to load up. Okay, so just to showcase how simple it is to add and build your website. So themes, again, you have got 4 or 5 different themes that are a Google set theme. You can choose whichever one you want. It has a slightly different text and a look to it. You could change what color you would like and what font size you would like it to be. And then you have got the ability to insert various layouts. And then, for example, if I wanted to insert that, I just click it, it will insert it there for me. And then I can add more information, or I can add pictures from here. I can upload it from my computer, and I can upload it straight from my drive, or I can select an image if I've already got a selection of images that I want to use. I can import a YouTube video, a calendar, maps, and then further down, I can also include many of these things. So if I want to include a Google form that I've already created, I just need to click that and it will allow me to embed that in straight away. If I have another website that I want to embed, I can just click embed and then it will just ask me for the URL. It's as simple as that. You just put in your URL and insert. And then allowing you to build like I've done with the virtual learning platform, just to build those pages. You can do one or two things. You can click the little three dots next to your home, and you can add a sub page, which will just directly, I'm just going to put number 1 next to it. That will create a little sub page just underneath it. You can then duplicate these pages. So the way I work is I set my theme for one page, and then I can just duplicate it many a time. And then I can build and create my website how I want it to look. It's as simple as that. You can delete your pages as easy as that as well. And if you don't want this little drop-down menu appearing, you just hide from navigation, and it will hide all these pages from navigation. And what you'll eventually see is that you won't have, let's get rid of that. You won't have a drop-down menu anymore. So none of my websites here, they haven't got a drop-down menu. They've all got little buttons, and I've created these buttons using Canva. And on Canva, I've created those buttons, put them in, and then just linked in all the different sites, all the different pages as well. So if I was to go back to page 1, so linking it in is, again, really simple. So if I've uploaded something in there, I can link it in. Just see if I can upload something really quickly. So you can upload it from your downloads. It's a new Chromebook I've got just before the holidays, so I've not got much in here that I can upload. So yeah. So there's many things we can do with this. We can title our site, and this site now with Google Sites, you are able to do many things with it in terms of publishing it. We can publish it to just your staff at your school. We can publish it to the public, and we can publish it just to certain people if you just want a certain group of students looking at your website. You can add and share and add collaborators to it. So as you can see, the draft is restricted just to me. And if I wanted to publish it to all the staff members at Witton Park, they can, with the link, they can access it. Or if I wanted to create it publicly, I can do it publicly. And what I can also do is once I've published it, I am able to add, go into the settings here. There's a couple of new things that have been added in very recently. One is you can add your Google Analytics to it. If you've got Google Analytics, you can see how much traffic you're coming in and out of your website. An announcement bar. So like I have on my Cpl Dashboard, just at the top here, it says that episode 6 is now available. That's an announcement bar that I could use and add. Unfortunately, I'm using my school account at the moment, but it normally would allow me just at the bottom here to publish it, and it would take off this sites.google.com, and you can publish it to a website address that you have, a domain that you have purchased, for example. Okay, so that's just a quick whiz tour of how we've been using Google Sites to just as a platform to put all the information in one place for our staff and our students to go back to at their own time. And I think moving forward, a lot of our time that we're going to spend in school addressing teacher training sessions and so forth, and then allow our staff the time to take in that information and process that information instead of taking that time to sit in a hall for 40 minutes listening to somebody. So it's a nice different way of taking things and doing it virtually now. All right, Guto, I think that's my little bit. I still can't get my camera working.
No idea what happened to you. We could see you before we get started, but now you're a wonderful black square looking back at us. We do have some questions, though, so even though we can't see you, I hope you can stick with me for a few minutes to get some questions. And so, come up first, right at the start, you showed the staff, the one for training staff and so on.
Yes.
Did you feel that how did your less confident, let's say, technology staff, were they finding it easy to engage with, or was there a learning barrier to get them used to having a online platform, I guess?
What I tended to do was keep it very, very simple. So, for example, just the first page is just buttons, and then even in each of the buttons, the information that is in there is very, very straightforward, simple to the point. And again, it's just adding in as many buttons that would then lead to the different pages. So it allows the staff to explore in their own time.
And again, it's been built so smoothly by, I'm guessing, yourself or your team, that for staff it's just like going to any website and clicking where they need to, like you would in any other websites.
Yes, exactly that.
I think Mel was talking about how it was great that you can get pictures directly from within Google Sites for your header image and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they have any restrictions in the search in terms of copyright, or do you have to go and check yourself if the pictures you're using are copyright free, shall we say, or have permission to be used?
So if you are using, if you are embedding using Google Sites itself, and you go through that system, Google will do that search for you. So the pictures that are available to you using any one of the Google apps, even if you're using Google Slides, you will only get a certain amount of images that are available to you. Whereas if you went to your URL at the top, open a new tab and search, you probably get a whole load of different images that you could possibly use.
So just to make sure that if it's a public website, that you look for the picture from within sites, I guess, and not copy and paste from anywhere.
Yeah.
The other one that this came in the private chat between the other presenters in the back, but someone asked that you mentioned using Classroom with the pupils and then having that site's dashboard or whatever you called it. Mm-hmm. How do you balance how do you decide what goes into Classroom and what goes on a site for the pupils?
So before lockdown, what we were doing, we were using Google Classroom a lot to send out all of our work to students. And what we were finding was, as students were scrolling down or going through the year, a lot of the stream was getting updated constantly, and it was about scrolling back through the Google Classroom to find certain work and so forth. With using the platform, the teachers are planning using the platform. All the work that they want the students to do is on this platform, and using Google Google Classroom, they're just guiding the students to go to that platform to work through that information. And then they're using the Google Classroom as a way to assess the students' understanding. So they might put an assessment piece using Google Forms on the Classroom, or they might do a Kahoot, or they might do other tools within Google Classroom to get an understanding of the students' knowledge and what they've learned. So this is a way of using that hybrid way of learning or asynchronous way of learning, where you go away and you read up and you learn about something, and then you come back to the Google Classroom and work through a piece of work or a piece of assessment that teachers have left for you.
So you can still set the task in Classroom, but then the link in Classroom takes them to the site and the dashboard on there.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess that goes part of the way, I guess, to answer Paige's question as well, which is she asked about uploading different assignments and videos for the students. I guess as the person who edits and makes the website, you can put in activities. We saw it in the dashboard. But for people using the website, that's not the space for them to submit their work, is it?
Well, if you add in a Google form and you add in and you allow them to upload a picture or a video, and you can even, I think it's up to 1 terabyte, they can upload various videos. It's doable, and using Google Forms, that's our way of making sure that evidence comes in. Like, for example, if I show you on the gateway, if I just go down to just one of these, you'll be able to see that at the bottom, students can just upload their evidence, and the evidence is in any format, absolutely any format. I've allowed Google Slides, I've allowed images, I've allowed pictures, videos. It's just there. It's a simple form that they need to fill in.
So if they click on the fill in form, you've got a box of upload file, and as you said, whether it's a picture, a film, as long as it's not a active one. Perfect. And the other question from Paige as well is, obviously, once you publish this, you can always go back and change it and add to it and put new resources on there when you want to, right?
Yeah. Until you are ready to republish your website, whatever you are doing in the background will stay to you. When you are ready to publish, you just publish. Just make sure that all your settings for all your documents, anything that you have uploaded, has the same sharing. I've forgotten the word.
Settings.
Yeah.
Permissions.
Yeah. Sharing settings that everybody can view it. For example, I think that was one of the biggest thing, that I could view it because I was creating the website. But whenever somebody else was trying to view it, they were saying, well, it's still restricted. And it's always a really good idea. What I do is I check it against 2 of my accounts. Or if I haven't got another account, then I'll get somebody else to just check it for me before I send it out, just to make sure there's nothing there.
Otherwise, your website might be public, but you might be putting a slide on there. And if the slide's not public, nobody can see it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
One last one I just want to show, not a question, but did you ever use classic sites before the new Google Sites came along a couple of years ago?
I did. I loved it, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I did.
As I'm not great at coding. I'm not great at figuring out some things in the back end. My feeling was with Anna Maria that throwing my laptop against the wall came very close using the classic sites. But I'm glad to find people who do love the old one as well.
The reason why I did like it was because you were able to create like a sign-in page per page or something like that, which is something that's not there for the new sites. But if you think about it, Google, when you sign in, generally it allows you, it takes that functionality into that aspect. So yeah. It's
I've also seen
a better version.
Over the past year or two, a lot of the features from the old are slowly coming into the new bit by bit. They're clearly working their way to bring a lot of the old functionality over as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Without overcomplicating things. Just a quick question before we say goodbye and Wendy gets ready to join us. How are things looking at your school for September? What plans have you started putting in place? Or what things have you had to consider?
Oh, so much is happening. We're a secondary school. We've got 1,200 students, hopefully all coming back to us in September. What we have done is that we've created bubbles. So per year group, we've got a certain set of teachers who will be teaching within that bubble. Luckily, we've got quite a big school, so we've been allocated a floor each in a way. But in terms of learning and teaching and virtual learning, yeah, we are going to have students who are not going to be present. So we need to, again, address how we are going to organize our teaching and learning. We have enabled all of our teachers to use Screencastify to basically instruct the students as to what they want them to do. And again, I think that is going to be something that we are going to continue into September, even if they're face-to-face, just to have that, all the work to be set on Google Classroom or to be using the virtual learning platforms to make sure that the work is there for everyone, regardless of them being in school and out of school. We are one-to-one with Chromebooks, though, as a school, so all of our students have a device. So it enables that virtual learning to be a little bit more easier for us.
It does make a difference when you know they're going to have a device at home if they need to be at home, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess it's being ready for that flexibility, I guess, is the main thing. There that we obviously we're expecting to be open for everyone, but who knows what the few months after is going to keep. So having that plan in place, ready to go. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
There's more love for all sites in the comments, just Jane's a fan as well.
Fab.
Massive thank you for joining us, Zaitoon. I'm so sorry we couldn't see you doing it, but your voice was enough to guide us through what we needed to learn. So massive thank you. I'm sure we'll see you again soon. I've put Zaitoon's Twitter on the screen there. Make sure you give her a follow if you don't. And if you hang around, hopefully we can see you at the end for a quick goodbye. But thanks, Zaitoon. I'm about to bring Wendy in a second. Before I do, just a quick reminder of that slide I showed right at the start of the summit, a good hour and a half ago now. If you do want to win a chance to come to a bootcamp or summit for free, be that an online one or an in-person one, once they get started, we host them across many continents, then do fill in that form on gsummit.link/ASA to have a chance to win those free seats.